You know, Tyler Perry once said, you can get 1,000 no's from people and one yes from God. And that yes is the one that really matters, right? For my first guest today, one yes was all it took to change the course of her life. She is an actress, a producer, and a singer, known for her roles in Tyler Perry's hit shows Sistas and the spinoff Zatima. She is quickly becoming a household name in Hollywood. Please welcome Crystal Renee Hayslett to the show.
Hi.
Hi there. It is so good to have you.
No, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited too. So much I want to cover, but I just think your journey is one that so many hard-working young ladies who are just trying to find their way can really relate to.
Yeah.
Let's start. Just in the beginning, there was this little girl from Martin, Tennessee, right? But we have to scoot a little bit past that. But it was in Martin where you had these dreams and you had these visions. So you go off to college, study PR, and you stopped in Washington as a Capitol Hill intern.
Yes.
Before any of the entertainment.
Before any of it, and then end up getting a job from interning.
Wow.
So that was like my first job right out of college.
What made you switch from politics? Because clearly there was a reason why you went to work for Senator Lamar Alexander.
Yes, it was actually my poli-sci teacher. Yes, he was the one that said, I think you should look into politics. You love debating. I was a big debater. And he said, I think this is something that you may be really good at. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I'm willing to try anything just to see if I'm interested. You know, it's almost like trying food. So many people are like, I don't want to do that, but they've never tried it.
Right.
So I was willing to try it, and I fell in love with it.
So you fell in love with it, but obviously there was still something else kind of churning in your spirit. Talk about that transition from politics to, you know what, Senator, I love this, but I'm going to Atlanta.
Literally, that's exactly what it was. I remember we were doing a staff retreat. He took us on a retreat every year, and he plays the piano. Senator Alexander does. And someone on the staff was like, you know, Crystal can sing. So that's what really kind of stirred it up again, because I always wanted to be a singer and actor from a little girl.
Right.
And one day I just was sitting at the desk, and I said, what are you doing? And sometimes you have that voice that says, what are you doing? And you're like, what am I doing? This isn't what I really want to do.
Interesting.
You know, and I'm really big on living in your purpose. Yeah. And at that moment, I knew I wasn't.
And so how long had you been in Washington when that what are you doing moment hit?
2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So why Atlanta? I mean, I kind of have a feeling. I mean, it was it's the Hollywood of the South.
It is, you know.
As opposed to LA.
Right.
You felt more drawn here.
Absolutely. One, I had a lot of friends thriving in Atlanta. And then it was close to home, you know, from Tennessee. So it was a lot closer than DC was. And I had family here, you know, so it just made more sense than going out to LA.
So that first job, you get here, a production assistant, right? It is the classic actor's tale. I'm going to just get in where I fit in.
Exactly.
But you really stood out.
Yeah.
Talk about how you stand out in such a competitive industry and keep such a light, because that's what everyone continues to be drawn to for is that light.
Yeah. You know what? I think the main thing is honoring every position. So many people, even me coming from Capitol Hill and then going to being a production assistant was a major decline, you know, to what I was used to. And honoring that and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. I may have to take a few steps back, and that's okay. Right. But I honored every single position. I came to work excited every single day. And I made other people excited to come to work, you know. And then I ended up becoming a costumer. And then I ended up becoming the costume designer.
Quickly explain that, because that PA position, the production assistant, that is truly an entry-level position. You really were grabbing coffee.
Yes.
You really were running errands. Yeah. How did you sort of pierce through that to end up in costume and wardrobe for Tyler Perry? Yeah.
You know what it was? You're right. I was up every morning before everyone else, making sure that they had their breakfast, they had their coffee. Before anyone got to the studio, I was one of the first people there, right behind Crafty and catering. And I ended up making sure that I always was a student. So whenever the costume designer needed help, I would make sure I was there so I could learn.
Right. And this is you from back in the day when you were working for other actors and getting everyone else ready, and you are still the first one to show up.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I love about being on the other side now, and having started on the crew side, because I understand every position, every part that everyone plays in making a movie, because a lot of actors haven't had that experience. So I have a different introspect when it comes to the full production.
I believe it's what keeps you humble, but it's also what keeps you inspiring others, right? Because you remember what that was like.
Yes.
Talk to me about that first time you have a conversation with Tyler Perry, beyond the story about don't look at him, don't speak at him, when you realize, you know what, he's still a human, he puts his pants on the same way we all do.
Exactly.
I'm going to speak to him.
Yeah. That first conversation, I think, it was when we were doing Soul Cycle. Tyler's really big on making sure we're fit because we spend so many hours at the studio. So this is when Soul Cycle first got started. So he brought instructors in, and we couldn't keep crew because people were paying more outside but doing less work. So they were like, I'm going to go work somewhere else. And I told him, and Tyler was like, I had no idea. And he made sure everybody in the department got a raise. And that was when he was like, this girl cares about everybody. It's not just about her. So I cared about how he looked because, that's a reflection on him as well. And if he doesn't know, he has no idea that this is the word on the street,
Right.
So that's when our relationship really built. And then I got a call one day. I was in Amsterdam on vacation, and he said, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He goes, I need you to help me revamp my closet, my personal closet. And it started from there, and then went from that to costume designing and working for him for 5 years as his personal stylist.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning.
That was just the beginning
of a really incredible story that so many people love. All right, stand by. We're going to keep the conversation going here. And when we return, the conversation with actress and producer and songstress, she can sang, Crystal Renee Hayslett, continues.